responders, they not only put themselves in harm's way, they endangered their families. Different from 9/11, when you went home with that dust on you, you could brush it off. When you went home with COVID, you would impact your entire family. And so we need to really think about how we're treating essential workers in the city.
The experience was rough, not what I'm accustomed to photographing. So just to get through it and kind of change my whole job description overnight. It's rough.
Hazard pay! Hazard pay! Hazard pay! Hazard pay! Hazard pay!
We take NYC ferry!
In the early days, it was impossible. You know, I had a friend die. I saw death first. You know, like from the virus itself, and just going home. I remember the first couple of months getting undressed in a plastic bag outside of my house and walking into my house almost completely naked, like not wanting to bring anything from outside into my house. It was pretty horrible.
Thank you, essential workers!
And we had double 95 masks, we had hand sanitizer, we had gloves, rubber gloves, and we came down here to Wall Street and it was empty. Well, I think it's the floats at I went up to the hospital and I heard that there were the trucks there, the refrigerator trucks. And I couldn't believe my eyes, and there were like 8 of them, and I went back the next day and there were 14 of them. And then every time I would pass a hospital and the motor would be running, I knew that what was in there, that was the reason. And if it wasn't for the photographers shooting inside the hospitals, nobody ever would have known what happened in there, that nightmare, and what these heroes did. So yay, photographers.
During the pandemic, scary, because I had a mother at home that was in the age group, and we lived together. So, you know, to do my job and to also try and keep my mother safe, that was 2 very difficult things, because the only option I had was the subway at the time. So, yeah, it was very stressful, especially when I went to a funeral home. I saw like 27 caskets in the regular place where they have, where they usually have a procession for one person. No sick leave, nothing, freelancers. So anything happens to me, anything happens to my family, that was obviously going to be a huge risk with no what do you call it, security. So yeah, pandemic was hard, but hey, we're here. You know, we made it, thankfully. A lot of us did it.
Singing around. All right, here we go. He's on the move.
I think that's part of this job, right? You see New York through the happy times and the sad times, and it was a privilege to be able to go drive around and see New York completely empty. And it felt like that part, I'm not religious, but that line in the Bible, they say the meek shall inherit the earth, you know? It was all crazy people and homeless, you know, who had inherited New York. Everyone else left, so. The most shocking part is that people are celebrating and it's still not over yet. What's happening? Hey, I'm still going. I'm keeping it going.
Thank you very much, Al. During the pandemic, it was very quiet. There was a lot of stressful moments. A lot of press people were covering moments of horror, agony, depression from people. We saw anywhere from people trying to cope with what was coming at them because they were losing jobs, to anywhere from people just losing their lives throughout this moment.
Kind of surreal because I know the city very well, and it was empty, and I only saw a few people like you and some colleagues, and it was you know, it was stressful because you didn't know where you would be pulled over and be told you had to stop working, and you didn't know that. So I worked the whole time from the moment that I got that I was better, that I was recovered from COVID. I worked until, you know, well into the summer, and you know, and keep still working.
During the pandemic, it's like crazy. Empty streets. Many days I was just by myself, not seeing any person, and it's scary. It was scary, especially the first 2-3 months. The beginning of COVID and then Black Lives Matter, everything together was just insane. But I'm really, really glad I got to cover this historic time, and I would never do anything different. So now I'm trying to get back to normal and not do as much COVID-related coverage. I'm trying to get back to entertainment and normal life, and hopefully we won't have another round of this. But yeah, it's like I always think I had PTSD kind of in the beginning, but now it's like back to normal.
Living through the past year definitely taught me to respect what I have and take not take anything for granted for what's coming at you.
Thank you. You're always there for us.
It was weird. Working during the pandemic was an odd experience. There was nobody out. You don't know what to expect, you know, like all you hear is that there's this virus and then everything is closing and now there's nobody out and everybody has to stay home. But in order to do your job, you still got to go out and show the story. So it's weird because you don't know what to expect. You don't know if you're going to get sick, and you don't know, there was no vaccine. You know, they didn't know if you should wear a mask or if you shouldn't wear a mask. So it's like everything, you were just guessing all the time. Everything was a guess, and sort of like taking a risk. It was like being in a surreal kind of war zone, you know, and the world even looked different.
Oh, that's high. Okay, okay.
What's happening? Hey, I'm still going. I'm keeping it going.